Hello everybody! We are back today from the Coastal Seafoods Test Kitchen. My name is Kian, and this week we've got some really beautiful coho salmon from our good friends up at Shoreline Wild. See absolutely how beautiful that is. Let's flip this over. Look at the skin on that. This is beautiful salmon, very, very high quality. And this is our feature this week. If you get our newsletter, you've seen this. If you follow us a lot, you have seen this. This coho salmon is something we're really, really proud of and very, very happy with. So we like to show it off as much as we possibly can. And this week, again, if you follow along the newsletter, you'll see that we included a recipe for a grilled salmon with a charred onion vinaigrette, which is a really nice dish for springtime, and wild salmon season is coming up. We've got this great salmon on feature, so I figured I'd show you how to do a version of that recipe. Obviously, I'm not using a grill today. We're going to do this indoors. You could definitely do this on a grill. However, there's no need. You could certainly do this indoors as well. So I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of give you a rundown on how to do this inside. Although I know for a fact some of you have fired up your grills already, which is awesome. So you could also do this in the grill. However you want to do it, it's totally fine. What I have right here is a dry pan, and in that pan I have some just slices of onions, just like this. Just whole rounds, dry pan, and what I want to do is get kind of a nice rich char on them, which I've already sort of started these. So I can kind of show you what I am looking to get, which is this nice, rich, dark color. You can see that's absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and flip these over. And I'm going to let them cook on the other side for just a little bit. I'm also going to season them with a little bit of salt. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my beautiful coho, and I'm going to season the top pretty generously. This is a pretty good thick piece of fish. And I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil to this pan, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and take my fish, and I want kind of a nice brown crust on top for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put that side down first. And I'm going to let that start cooking. Which won't take very long at all. You're just going to try to develop that crust, and then we're going to flip it to the other side and finish it off with that. And then I'm going to show you how to make this really beautiful dressing, which I have this container here for. Now remember, if you have any questions or comments, anything like that, absolutely feel free to hit us up. I will be happy to answer those. But again, this salmon is from our friends at Shoreline Wild. It is all hook and line caught, and it's what's called FAS, which means frozen at sea. So these fish, as soon as they're caught, within 20 minutes out of the water, they are already been processed, bled, and the freezing process is started. So it goes very, very quickly. But what that does is it seals in the freshness of that salmon. So this salmon is actually, a lot of times it's just as good, if not better, than a lot of the stuff that we actually get fresh during the wild season. So this is a previously frozen salmon, but the quality on it is extremely high, and it's very, very, very beautiful piece of fish. So I'm going to go ahead and check my onions. I think we're coming along pretty well here. Yep, we're good. So I'm going to take these out of the pan. Now, and I'm going to let my salmon sort of finish cooking. Scooch this over just a touch. I'm going to check, see how that crust is going. That's exactly where I want it. So now I'm going to finish the other side on the skin. So I'm going to let this go and just let that skin render and get nice and crisp. Turn my heat down just a little bit. So now we're going to make our vinaigrette. I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to mince up one of these onions, just into chunks. They are hot, so be careful. You might want to let them cool before you do this at home. But we're on a time crunch, so we're gonna go. And I just want these in kind of nice small pieces because this is gonna mix into our vinaigrette. And this is beautiful. You could do this dish with a lot of different grilled vegetables. I like doing this with asparagus a lot. It's very, very nice with that. You could also do grilled broccolini is very nice with this. Some grilled zucchini would be really, really good. Again, there's just a lot of ways you could go with this. So I'm going to go ahead and add my onions to that. And then what I've got here is a little bit of Dijon mustard. And this is going to help give not only flavor to the dressing, but it's also going to help emulsify the vinegar and the oil. So I'm going to go ahead and add like a tablespoon and a half of the Dijon mustard. And I've got here my all-time favorite apple cider vinegar. This is from a company called Omed. It's a Spanish company, and they produce the most amazing vinegars and oils. Their olive oil is outstanding, voted best olive oil in the world. Super good. And these vinegars, they're actually a very low acidity vinegar, so they're not as strong and as potent as what you might be used to. But I'm going to add just a couple of tablespoons of vinegar to that. And I'm going to go ahead and stir this all together until it's kind of a cohesive paste. So I've got my mustard, I've got my vinegar, and I've got my onions. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly drizzle in this olive oil. Now this is the kind of thing you want to be careful. I know a lot of people at home are hesitant about making their own dressings. It is very easy to do, and it doesn't take a lot of time. So all I'm going to do is slowly stream in this oil and stir it in. Now you just do a little bit at a time, and then take your time to stir that oil in. And you keep doing this. We're going to wind up using probably about a cup of olive oil to make this vinaigrette. Pretty traditionally, when you're making vinaigrettes, the general ratio is going to be 1 part oil, one third part vinegar to 1 part oil. So again, so if you were doing this at home, you'd be 1/3 cup of your vinegar to 1 cup of olive oil. Again, we're going to just kind of keep slowly doing this. It will look broken at first, but just keep stirring and it'll start to come together. And as soon as you hit that perfect ratio, it's going to be beautiful and emulsified. And if you go very, very slowly with this process, it's going to be easier and it's going to stay together better and longer. So we're almost there. We want this nice and creamy, which happens when you hit that beautiful emulsification. You get this really nice, we're almost there. You can see kind of the texture we're going for here. I'll show you a little bit more up close into the camera. So this is getting to be kind of where we want it, which is perfect. You can see it's nice and getting thick. That salmon is cooking along very nicely. It's almost done. So you can see how quickly this recipe kind of comes together, which is fantastic. And I'm just going to keep slowly drizzling this oil. And now it's really starting to come together, which is exactly what we want. Again, that you need that vinegar to be suspended perfectly in that oil, and that mustard really helps. The onions even really help here. Just keep everything nice and intact. And we are here. So now what I'm going to do, just for a little added flair, is I'm going to throw in a little bit of chopped dill, which I have here. Dill goes right in. You could use, if you didn't like dill, you could certainly use parsley. Tarragon would be beautiful in here. There's a lot of different fresh herbs you could throw in there, or a combination thereof. Dill and tarragon together would be absolutely fabulous. Highly recommend. But now what we have here is our charred onion and dill vinaigrette. So this is what you see in the recipe. Again, that's in our newsletter. This is also on our website, and this is exactly what we want. This nice chunky sort of vinaigrette. Got all those charred onions in there. Absolutely beautiful. This is gonna taste fantastic with this salmon, which is done. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Absolutely beautiful. So I'll show you my salmon. So you can see we've got this nice, beautiful brown crust on top. You can see the side here where it's still just a little bit pinkish in the middle, which is exactly what we want. And then if I flip it over, you can see I've got this nice, beautiful crusted skin, which is absolutely beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna plate this up pretty simply. I'm gonna take my board or plate, however you wanted to do this, and I'm just gonna put down these extra grilled onions here. Just sort of scatter them about. And I'm gonna take my salmon. I'm gonna put that right on top here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle it with a little bit of this beautiful vinaigrette. Just like so. And we have ourselves a really fantastic, really easy salmon dish. And if you like, you can get extra fancy with it. Friends, family never don't appreciate that. And garnish with just a little extra piece of dough. So this is the whole dish. Fish with a nice vinaigrette is always beautiful. You can see that. Again, super simple, very luxurious. This would be just an outstanding dinner, but it also perfect for any night of the week. This is just really gorgeous. And yeah, hopefully you give it a try. Again, recipe is up on our website. We included it in the newsletter this week. I set it right here. Just absolutely stunning. So give that a try for sure. Come on in this week. Check out our Shoreline Wild Salmon. Again, we've got it on feature. $17.99 a pound all week. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, hopefully we will see you back next week. We'll have lots more to talk about, I am sure, as we always do. But otherwise, like, comment, share, do the whole thing. Let your friends know that we do this every week, 1 o'clock Thursday. This is awesome. And if you haven't yet, we still have a few openings for our classes coming up. There's not a lot left, but there are some. So if you're interested in taking those, definitely go to the website, check that out. There's some availability. There's even a few sushi class spots open. So if you've not taken one of those yet, definitely do that. Hope to see you there. Otherwise, we will talk to you all next week. Enjoy and have a beautiful weekend.